Rap Life Review. We got Eddie in LA. We got D-Smoke in New York, but he's from LA.
Yes.
I'm Ebro. We are doing this. Thank you for joining us.
It's a pleasure to be here, man.
You have a new album.
I do. It's called Wake Up Supa.
Who is Supa?
I'm Supa.
Okay. Was that an actual nickname? Or?
Yeah, my brother started calling me Super Good D-Smoke. So
okay.
he would just be like, Super Good, what up? You know what I'm saying? So,
shout out to Sir.
Oh, well, my other brother, Davion. But big
Davion.
shout out to Sir for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a lot of brothers.
It's a lot of us, yeah.
It's on Death Row.
Absolutely.
How did that come about?
Me and Snoop have been working together for years. You know, he was one of the only people who didn't try to sign me out the gate after Rhythm and Flow, but supported everything that I was doing. Pulled up in Inglewood. We shot the video to Gasparianga. He had me write his Spanish verses on Que Maldición with him and Banda MS. So it was always this relationship where it was like, whenever there's room to collaborate, we're going to do that. Out the gate, my first two projects were with Empire, you know, and it's still love there. But once I was a free agent, I was like, you know, dog, we're going to do, you know, we're going to do what we said what we was going to do, you know. So this is how that came about. And of course, being a businessman he is, you know, he showed a lot of respect in the terms that we came to, you know, that still allowed me to respect myself as a businessman, not doing no 360 deals, nothing crazy, no, you know, I'm not handing over my masters for life.
Terms that you like.
Terms that I like, you know, so and I believe in it being mutually beneficial, so we got there.
Well, there's some great hip hop on the album, and it's obviously, as always, D-Smoke, very thoughtful, very cultural, very, you know, introspective.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? Which is always appreciated. I feel like, and Eddie, I don't know if you agree with this, I feel like we live at a great time in hip hop, right?
Yeah, like
hip hop is very diverse. There's tons of different material, sounds, regions, all types of shit.
Can I ask you a question too? Because I've been interested in this, watching your journey, and like you said, you were on Empire before, now you're on the new Death Row. Mm-hmm. For an artist like yourself, and a lot of times we get stuck in the numbers and we think success as a hip hop artist or just musician or anybody is in this very 10% of the people that have that level of success. Mm-hmm. What is success for an artist like yourself?
Yeah, success for me is impact. It always has been impact. You know, when I was in the classroom, it's like, is this affecting people positively, right? And so in music, it's both, am I saying what I want to say in the project, and am I growing as well, right? So as long as my trajectory is upward, as the movement grows, and I'm still staying true to me, that's success. Because we could always take another step. And I've reached so many of my goals in music that I think growth is the biggest measurement of success. Are the people still tapping in? Is this project reaching new people? And it most certainly is. So,
where do you rank respect in hip hop as an MC and kind of like a success metric for yourself?
Respect in hip hop is big. I wouldn't say it's first. For example, Nip said, the minute somebody focuses on that, just being competitive in music, you take away your unique advantage. So that's an element. It is a sport. I get it. So you want the respect of your peers, but
it's not
no, I don't make decisions in the studio based on what somebody else think. You know, and I think that's key for an artist to be like, know yourself, operate that way, and then, you know, if you feel that competitive energy, go for it. But don't let that determine your process.
I was actually more thinking about respect through the lens of respecting the craft, the culture, and the intention of what this hip hop shit is.
Oh, for sure. No, that's you know, super important, because whatever you do, you're supposed to respect the craft. You know what I'm saying? We didn't start this. This came from somebody else. So you picking up where somebody else left off. So you owe it to, you know, where you come from, both in your hood, in your city, in the legacy of hip hop, to study, to bring something unique, push the boundaries. You know what I'm saying? So we always doing that.
Yeah.
What about the production on there? Because you got Mike and Keys, you got Turbo. How many songs did you actually produce yourself? And then how do you decide who gets the bite of the apple in making this project?
Man, I produced 6 songs on there. So I produced Biscuits with me, Snoop, and Nana.
Shout
produced
out to Nana.
Count Your Blessings with me and Jane Hancock. I produced...
Who's singing so beautifully, and I said that to your face?
Yeah. Count your blessings, my hey, I got white homeboys who was like, man, I love that song, but I've never had to bleep out so much in my life. Count your blessings, my They got to take a deep breath. Like,
are they bleeping it out?
They bleep. The homie bleeping it. He bleeping.
I respect it.
He's
at
a
least
bleeper.
They saying it. You know what I'm saying? That's what we want. That's what we want out here.
Man, you know, so, but yeah, I produced 6 of them. Frequency with Lucky Day, Stomp with Miles Minnick, and then one more. I can't remember, but I produced a good amount, and some of my favorite ones. And then, yes, I had 1500 Lawrence, Turbo, you know, Mike and Keys, DJ Battlecat. You know what I'm saying? So it's really the people. DK the Punisher. So it's people that I really, you know, Terrence Martin. It's people that I really fuck with.
All homies.
You know what I'm saying? Homies. That's the thing, you know, because...
Well, the album's very musical, which is why I even started this by saying I'm so happy with where hip-hop is, right? Yeah. Because even every time we start Rap Life Review, we run through things that just dropped, right? Joey Badass, he just put out a new album, which is fire. West Side Guns on there, Ferg, and many more. Matter of fact, I caught up with Joey, didn't we? Talking about this album. Let's get to that clip. Lonely at the Top, the tape. Why did you call it that?
Lonely at the Top, for a couple reasons. One, it sure is lonely at the top.
Everybody ain't gonna make it, brother.
Yeah, and you know, it's funny because before the sparring even happened, I had like this concept of it. But I feel like once the sparring did happen, everybody was like, yo, nobody jumped in on his side. Like, he ain't had nobody. I'm like, that's why it's lonely at the top. You know what I'm saying? So I just feel like it's a perfect kind of metaphor to like where I'm at in life. Like, if I look back at the past to, you know, how I came into this thing, like I came in like 47 deep everywhere I was going. Like, I ain't going unless we ganged up. And, you know, you almost don't realize that, like, it's so much that plays into it. It's so loaded. Like, you know, you got the survivor's guild, and then, you know, you got what I call the Aladdin carpet theory, right? It's like the higher you want to fly, like the less weight you gotta have. You know what I'm saying? You know, sometimes people or things even, like, you know, kind of just weigh you down and stop you. So I feel like, you know, ultimately I'm at the height of all heights. And, you know, when I look around, it's just like nothing really in my way stopping me, you know? And that's where I'm at.
Shout out to Joey, putting on for Brooklyn. Then you got a West Side Gun. He put out his own project. Same time now, our boy Key Glock dropped another installment to the Glockavelli, the All Eyes on Me, which, Eddie, we had a convo with him when we was opening the studios in L.A.
Yeah, this is like his third project. Like, a lot of people drop bonuses or they drop additional albums, but this is actually his third one. And bro, if you check the numbers in Apple Music, this Key Glock is streaming. And I've already had the conversation with multiple people. You know, are one of those people I had this conversation with. It's one of my favorite albums of the year, and he just continues to add to it. And it just goes to show it in 2025, there really are no boundaries in how you want to release music. And I know this isn't necessarily our genre, but like, even look what Justin Bieber did this week. He was like, I'm going to drop Swag 2, and it's 44 songs.
Right.
And Key Glock has done something similar with releasing 3 different projects that all have like ties to each other within a year.
Also, on a completely different wave, Skepta and Fred again. Shout out to my boy Skepta, keeping my name hot out here as always. Dropped a fire EP, which I love. Got some joints on there, which is a whole club, dance, electronic, you know, what they call it, garage, grime, you know, UK thing, which is fire.
Garage.
Can you just say it with the accent again? Can you say
garage
with the accent?
That's garage.
But that's how they say it.
No, I like garage.
Well, I remember one time I told somebody they was like garage. I was like, garage? They was like, no, garage.
Is that only referring to garage music, or you put a car into the garage too?
I don't know. That's a great question.
Okay, got you. I'm
sure somebody in the comments gonna let us know.
Yeah, okay, for sure.
And you know, this gentleman right here, D-Smoke, speaks a few languages, so you know he's really inquisitive when it comes to linguistics.
Absolutely. I was trying to find the connection between garage but I see what you did there. Yes.
You see what I'm saying?
Ya hablo español también.
Sí. You see what's going on?
Garaje.
No hable.
It's only one way to pronounce it in Spanish. Garaje. You feel
There
me?
you go.
Now, Eddie, you got with Don Toliver a new single.
Yeah, so Don Toliver Tiramisu, he's been busy because if you watch one of the biggest movies of the year, shout out to the gang here at Apple TV Plus, that F1 movie. He was on the soundtrack.
That's right.
Him and Doja Cat. And that was one of the biggest songs. It's like a pivotal moment in the movie. So we're going to talk about Tiramisu, which is his new single. But I asked him specifically, like, yo, this is going to be one of those moments forever. Like when people go back and watch it, this going to be your song. So was Tiramisu supposed to go on Hearthstone Psycho or what happened?
I make a lot of music off of feeling and just kind of like good energy. So it kind of came from a place of me just, all right, I have these records that I just believe in, and I always kind of keep them in the tuck, but for some strange reason, that particular record cut through the cracks. But my process is simple, man. It's just like, I live with music long enough to where it's like, okay, I love this record. If I love this record, I dig into it. But some things, you know, like I say, things happen, and like it's cool to kind of just move with the pivot, because I love, you know, anybody that's falling in love with anything that I do, like I'm a fan of them. So I'm going to give the fans as much as I possibly can.
Big up Don Tolliver. Now, I did not have this on my bingo card for 2025, likely because I didn't know it needed to happen. Lotto and Ice Spice have gotten together and dropped a new single, which I like. Eddie, what are your thoughts?
I don't like it, man. I just gotta be honest. Like I try. I don't want to beat them up and be like, "Oh, it's ass. It's terrible." It don't really do it for me.
I didn't have any expectations. I like the beat. I like both of them on it. I didn't really, you know, it's a 2-minute, you know, it's cute girl. They barring it up a little, sign something they style. I think a lot of times we expect everything to go through a specific lens, and I think people are really fucking with this song.
Yeah.
Now, Young Thug, you seeing this, D-Smoke?
I'm seeing this.
I have my own theory, right? And I do appreciate, I just saw, shout to Bank.
Big Bank, yeah.
In Atlanta, in that interview.
He did that. He did that.
No, fire. I appreciate Young Thug saying, I was in jail facing life, I was on the phone, and I was just having convos. I was in a bad place.
Boom.
I appreciate that. I think that is honest as can be. For anyone out there who is doing activity that may put you in a precarious situation known as jail, you must know that all of your conversations are being recorded.
It literally tells you anytime you accept a phone call.
I know, but he was in a bad place, and I appreciate him being like, fuck it, I'm just talking shit with my friends, my lady. Man, shit's fucked up out here.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
most
he
people
knows that.
Say again?
He knows that. He knows that the calls were recorded.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing.
But he didn't think, well, so, and I have a theory, right? Because I don't really want to get into,
Is this all pub
I'm a
is
corporate
good
dude.
pub?
I'm on the sidewalk. I'm not a street person. So I don't, the whole who's a snitch and who this and what you would have done and not my world, wouldn't even be in that situation, so I have no comment.
Right.
What I will say, though, is I don't believe somebody who is facing life, a prisoner, expects their calls to be leaked to the media in this way. We ain't
never seen this.
We never
seen rappers go to jail. Rappers go to jail all the time. We ain't never heard phone call. And I'm gonna be real with you guys. Can I be 100% honest with you, D-Smoke and Ebro? Can I be 100% honest?
Please do.
My life is great. I am not in a bad place. I am not in jail. If you recorded my phone calls, I'll be talking shit about my friends in a loving way, because I'm talking about my friends to my friends. And like, we'll have friend X, it'd be lying. I can't believe he said that. He did. Like, if you recorded my phone call with the people I love the most, cousins, because I'm talking to another cousin.
Well, and you know, didn't Young Thug say that in the Bank interview or on Twitter or something where he was, I forget, it's so much information, I don't know where I saw that, where he was like, look, a lot of these convos I've had with the people I'm saying it about.
For sure.
I've done that. Like, if you had my phone calls recorded, even if I have a girlfriend, I would probably say something in a joking manner about my girl, that it might sound like I'm gonna cheat on her or something, but I'm not. But if you take it out of context and just play that, be like, yo, he about to cheat on his girlfriend. Like, you are lying. If now
what Young Thug said was a little bit more egregious than what am I trying to say? A hypothetical.
He was wilding.
No, his wasn't a hypothetical. The most recent, where he had to apologize to Mariah the Scientist, was not hypothetical.
Mariah
but I have a theory. I have a theory, y'all. Follow me here. Follow me. This is the more important piece of all this, because we could giggle and laugh and do all the shit with that.
Kiki.
Young Thug basically beat his case for the most part. He did not end up going to jail long term. Yes? That has to have upset Fulton County. So I have to assume that they said, you won this, but we're going to make it so
You can't
your
navigate.
whole brand, everything is tarnished. So I have to assume that's why we're getting these.
That's my theory.
The other piece is, as a part of the settlement or the agreement or whatever it's called, was that he can't be in Atlanta. Like, he can't go to Metro Atlanta. He can't be there. Period, full stop. He had to move out. So this further makes it uncomfortable for him to even just have relationships that are healthy in that area.
Right. My theory is this: if they're concerned, you're in a court case where they're concerned about criminal activity. All I'm gonna do is talk about the professional relationships and all the things that happen
On the
within
phone,
those
you mean?
circles. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's not like he could be like, cause I'm over here, you know.
On the phone.
Right. So those are the bounds of his
wouldn't happen.
conversation. What else he gonna talk about?
That's
so,
right.
But also, like, the first point, you know, like, who expects all these to leak? And also, what else? You know, you locked up, you're in bad terms. So,
well,
I don't really make much of it.
I love
but
what
you know,
Young Thug's, how he's handling it to the best of his ability.
Are you? You say, huh?
To the best of his ability, meaning like his tweet to everyone involved in this situation. I'm sorry this is happening, and I hope you guys can forgive me. I'm moving forward in my life. Thank you, God. Like, what else? I mean,
So also another layer to this, because we're assuming that maybe the feds or Fulton County has something to do with the calls leaking. Whack 100 has come out and be like, I'm the one leaking the call, so he's taking claims for that. Then also, no comment.
well,
So
no,
also,
but he would have had to have gotten those from somebody in there. So
you're
you
right.
can't remove he could chime in and say he the one and all that, and Whack be trolling. But somebody in there with access to the hard drive had to release it.
for sure.
Yes.
He didn't go in there and clip the audio himself.
This is true. And then also another layer to it, because he had one of those phone calls, he called out P from QC and called P a snitch or whatever. So P posted something calling Thug a snitch and said he's about to release a documentary. So there's all kind of, and we didn't even talk about the Gunna part. Like,
well, that was gonna be the next transition.
Okay, all right.
Which is, Gunna obviously is having phenomenal success. You saw his thing at the VMAs where he had the marching band was rhyming. It was like the halftime of the VMAs the other night. That was fire. His jogging thing he did here in New York City, like his whole fitness game. I love all of that.
For sure.
The other piece of this is, I'm sure this doesn't help Young Thug feel better, right? As he said, I lost my friend. It's been hard for me to write music because I've been, it's somebody I trusted basically that, I feel like turned their back on me, right? This is Gunna's last album with YSL, I was told.
Yeah.
I don't know the deal, which obviously makes it great for Young Thug to go sign a new deal. Gunna to go sign a new deal and move on and go do his thing. And Young Thug is still dealing with the ramifications of the phone calls, the fact that he felt like he was betrayed. Now he got what's going on with his girl and this whole scandal with that. That's a lot to deal with, man.
Honestly, that's the part that humanized Young Thug the most for me when I saw the clip of him talking specifically about Gunna, because we've been watching this whole process for years, and the tides have turned completely on Young Thug. And I'm the guy that's like, bro, you got to just stop tweeting, stop doing press. This is bad. But when he actually had the conversation and you could hear in his voice, he was like, yo, like, that was my man's. Like, I loved him. It's like, and he actually says, I can't even be mad at him. So for the first time, I could see why Young Thug feels the way he does, specifically towards Gunna, because there is so much love for him that he can't even hold it back while he's doing this interview, while he's supposed to, like, to the world, hate this guy that snitched on him, according to Young Thug. How could you do me like that?
I think, D-Smoke, you're an educator, and I'm sure you've had many conversations with young men and women, young people, about street life.
For sure.
And avoiding it at all costs. Because of the reality of this, right? When it will come crashing down.
For sure.
There will be some problems. There will be loss of life, and the reality that one day you might be faced with never seeing your loved ones again.
Period.
Full stop. In my life, I have never seen someone not try to come to an agreement of some sort to avoid what's in front of them.
I've seen that. I've had homies who could have rolled over and didn't, and they still locked up. And on somebody's standards, that's real cool. You know, on other people's standards, you know, we got plenty of people who snitch and then be back out on the streets and their own hood ain't got no love and all that stuff. So, you know, like I'm like Eddie, like I'm familiar, but I ain't no street in the sense that you could call me and go do some dump. Like, nah, brother.
No,
you
sir.
know, but you know, I got a family member who, even when we was kids, got us all in trouble and took the whole, you know, blame for it. And he was the street cousin, you know what I'm saying? And so, but again, if you choose it, choose all of it, you know, to the end. So,
You can't one foot in, one foot out.
heck no, hell no.
Can't one foot in, one foot out. Yeah, so my advice is that's what they made sidewalks for. Stay out the street, man. But back to Gunna on the fitness side, you are a fitness person also.
For sure.
You are you are a martial artist.
Martial artist, yeah.
When you see someone like Gunna who, you know, went from, you know, being someone that was he was unhealthy.
He was a little chunky boy.
I was gonna try, but you know, all right.
Had a little midsection on him.
You know what I mean? But when you see somebody make this transition,
boy, I get it.
No, I applaud it. I applaud it for sure. Like all I see is hard work. When you see the results, you see hard work. You know, a lot of people cut corners. We in an industry where people like, oh, what can I do to shave this and do that? You know.
Oh, zip
but,
it.
you know, I don't know nothing about it. But all I see is hard work. Me and Sir, you know, we in the gym regularly, like every day. And Sir done transformed his body 4-5 times. He thick one day, you know what I'm saying, on tour, then he ripped, then he want to just get buff, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I applaud it, man. I think hip-hop need to head in that direction. You know what I'm saying? It's okay to grow. You know, we too tough, you know, too tough to eat good, too tough to say, no, I ain't drinking this time. You know what I'm saying? So, because again, hip hop is a culture that influences people. So I think it's good that it's heading in that direction. I remember when Dr. Dre did it. You know, he came out and was swole on everybody. I'm about to do it. You feel me? But
you going swole?
I'm gonna go swole one of these days. I ain't done it yet, but you know what I'm saying? I'm more ripped. I'm more Bruce Lee right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you the truth, and I've told this story too many times. I know D Smoke's tired of me saying it, but since we're having the conversation about fitness
In the gym.
he's not lying. I used to see them at the gym. We went to the same. This wasn't no fancy gym. This was like a standard gym.
We never thought D Smoke was lying. We think you're lying. We never.
No, he was there. He was there.
I'm just fucking with you.
Tell him how I get down.
He was he was there. He was in the gym. He was doing the whole circuit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Nah, he been there. I'm
You know
fucking
what I'm
with you,
saying?
man. Don't get tight. Don't tighten up, man. That's cool, man. Chill, man.
Now he didn't jump in our rotation, the monster rotation. You know what I'm saying? But he was getting it in. But when you in that group, like Sir is a mean person. He's a great guy, nice person, my brother. Salute. But in the gym, he's a mean person. You forget that he's the youngest brother because he's like, bro, what are we doing? Like, if you pause and you skipping too much rest between sets, bro, what are we doing? You on your phone? Like, chill out,
I like
bro.
that. I like that.
But we get work for sure.
I like that.
Yeah, I love hip hop and fitness, bro. Like also Little John was in a weightlifting competition. Method Man's the avid like lifter. Jadakiss be getting it in. Like that's something, especially as we mature and even the younger cats. Like that's something when we were young, it was different because it was a prison mentality. Fitness was hand in hand with hip hop to a degree, and we've kind of lost that. It seemed a little bit because cats be on drugs. They don't be on that. But I think we need to get like these younger artists to help emphasize fitness.
Wait, you said what in the 90s? What?
Cats was like on that jail. People's getting buff. Like it was part of the culture. Like that was a thing.
Man,
That wasn't who was.
Nah, man, I was there.
No, I'm talking about like
Pac
maybe not.
Pac was, first of all,
DMX.
Pac was 25.
I think just rappers
you could be
being in
ripped
jail.
and on drugs at the same
When
time.
I was 25, walking around with my shirt off, drinking Hennessy in the summertime,
Still ripped.
I still looked alright.
You know what?
It was when I turned 35 that it's a problem. So let's not, I mean, look, there was some cats that had, you know, some blessed physiques, but I wouldn't say the 90s cats was on their dean like that. Like, there's always a couple of cats that was, you know, fit, cool, but it's more prevalent now, in my opinion, to be healthy or attempting to be healthy or attempting to have a discipline over the last, I would say, 15 or 20 years than it was in 92, 93. Like,
Right.
cats was just off Hennessy.
I was wrong. I take it back.
He think,
Bro, we used to wear 4X t-shirts. That wasn't because was in shape.
I was wrong. I think I just wanted to be buff when I was a kid. But you're right.
Yeah, you was in the comic book. You confusing comic books with hip-hop.
In the wrestling.
Yeah, that was wrestling. That wasn't hip-hop, bro.
Yeah, you're right.
That wasn't hip-hop.
My
Because
bad.
even if you look at Fat Joe now versus Fat Joe then.
Right.
Yeah, you're right. I'll take it back. I know when I'm wrong.
Yo, man, D-Smoke, appreciate you coming by Rap Life Review, bro.
Absolute pleasure.
Yeah, man.
Yes, sir.
Congrats on the new album. Y'all go check that new D-Smoke album. Eddie, anything
What's
before
up?
we wrap? Anything we left out?
Oh, yeah. D-Smoke, you got a book, right?
Absolutely. Yes, it's
explain
called
this. What's
Vivid
the book?
Isaiah. Yeah, so I was a school teacher, and in the classroom, it was always like some text that they having us use, like, oh yeah, use this to talk about whatever. But it was never that book that to me spoke from the student's perspective, told these hood stories, and still inspired and did what we were aiming to do as teachers. So while I was substitute teaching in LA, I wrote a book, and it was both my stories coming up in Inglewood, but then this whole magical realism element where it's like a whole parallel universe and all the things that we love as kids, even in the hood. We love, the superheroes. We love the Matrixes and all this stuff. So if you imagine straight out of Inglewood meets, the Matrix, it's in that world, and I'm excited. It's gonna do some things.
I find it very interesting, I'll go with, that, when you grow up, in proximity to impoverished lifestyles, or you grow up in quote unquote the hood, that we always have to clarify that our kids dream too.
For sure.
Like it's so like
if not
does
more.
that ever hit that every time it happens, because I do it, we all do it, where it'd be like, yo, kids in the hood like superheroes.
For sure.
Yeah.
Like, why do you even have to say that? That's
Right.
how far gone, just social comprehension of children who may not have or who are just black. You have to say, we're just humans.
Right. Because they don't want that many common threads. They don't want to see themselves in us. You know what I'm saying? So, but, they said, what is it? It's something along the lines of poverty is the source of real creativity. You know what I'm saying? When you struggle, that's when you had to go in the kitchen and make something out of whatever ingredient you had. You get real creative.
Necessity, the mother of invention.
Thank you. That's what I was looking for. I was gonna remix it 4-5 different ways, but that so in that sense, like the imagination of the hood is very strong.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what this book is about and is gonna showcase. And you said dream, like that's a real element in the book too. It's some of the characters are called dreamers. You got dreamers of good intent, and you got dark dreamers. So it's a lot of parallels to the hood, to spirituality and all that stuff. But it's dope. We got some superpowers in there, some gangsters, all that.
All that.
So.
I got another question for you too as well. Like,
Yes, sir.
you're someone that's so rooted, and you're from a whole family. It's not even just your brothers. It's like your parents of being entrenched in the music scene in LA, and post the pop out. How are you feeling about the LA music scene right now? Not just in rap, overall.
I think the LA music scene is beautiful. It's diverse, right? So the LA music scene, you got the youngsters that's doing what they do, giving you that energy that, make you feel like you walked outside on Manchester and Vermont, you know what I'm saying? Then you got a lot of artists that are, storytellers and vivid painters, You know what I'm saying? So I just like the wide spectrum of it. I've been in album mode, so I haven't tapped into a lot of it. And to be honest, if you hear my album, it's a lot of voices. Like, so when I'm rapping, I listen to more singing. You know what I'm saying? So I'm making sure my rap voice is me. You know what I'm saying? When I'm, now I'm like, all right, cool, I can step back and listen to more music. But it's a lot that I still have to tap into. But, I'm inspired, that Kendrick chose to reach out to a lot of these youngsters and give them a platform, you know what I'm saying? Because it's a real street album, you know what I'm saying? And of course, he always going to take time out to show us glimpses of just pure genius, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, the West Coast is alive, and we feel that. Yeah. We feel represented. We feel that camaraderie, so.
Yeah, it's even weird because, I'm not originally from LA, but I understand the communal experience of it. I was watching NFL kickoff the other day, and they had Kamasi Washington doing like the national anthem in Brazil. And I was like, yo, anthem. Kamasi! And I'm playing Xbox, like yelling to the homies. And I'm like, like people don't understand that part of LA. Like we still are rooting for these artists, the Terrace Martins and Kamasis and others.
Yeah, with a deep heritage or history and funk and gospel and all that stuff. Like jazz. The West Coast has like a real strong, musical heritage that just comes from like musicians to lyricists to, so, but we don't always see that. We see the gangsters all the time. And the gangsters are no exception. 1,500 to nothing. They Crenshaw District boys.
Shout out to
me and Sir, we Inglewood boys. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the homies, so.
But once again, I'll bring it back around to even having to clarify that individuals who grow up in a certain environment don't have these skills because you're affiliated with, a street organization doesn't mean you don't have musical talents.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Lyrical talents. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And these expressive talents. Yeah. But yeah, it is, the images of black neighborhoods and the stereotypes have often overshadowed the talent.
The reality, the nuances and the duality of being black, so, yeah.
What's up? You just finished an episode of the Rap Life Review. It's 2025, so new year means new episodes coming your way. If you want to get in the conversation, you can always drop us a comment below. And of course, you can like and subscribe so you never miss a new episode. Catch us next week on a brand new episode of the Rap Life Review right here on Apple Music.